Welcome to the studio. Hey.
What's up, fellas?
We made it. Oh, my goodness, we made it. We've been talking about it, what, 2 months?
Mm-hmm.
Something like 2.5 months? We're finally here. It's weird for us, right? I feel like, do we look at the camera? Do we look at each other?
I'm just going to look at the camera the entire time.
I like looking at you guys, though.
I'm not going to look at it. I'll start sweating.
Oh, don't start sweating anything but that. Oh, my God.
I think opening the window helped a bit.
I think so.
It feels nice in here. It took us way too long to figure out how to do this job, and we realize it's probably not perfect, but...
Yeah. I don't know if anyone out there has attempted YouTube before, but... Man, credit where credit's due. A lot of these big YouTubers, they make this stuff look super easy. But it's tough setting this up and getting it perfect. But we're going to get there. I think.
It's definitely perfect, especially our tripod stand.
Yeah, we're not going to talk about what we did. We MacGyvered this thing big time.
I wish we could,
turn it around and
show
them.
But
that'd be great. Can't do it.
No.
All right. So, now that we're here.
Since we're on video, should we give a proper introduction of ourselves and who we are? Obviously, we have 3 different jerseys behind us, each meaning something different for each of us. So now you're putting a face to a name, a beautiful face to a beautiful buttery voice. So and Dave, so why don't we do some intros?
Yeah.
They can see us, they can understand us a little better, and Sean kick us off.
Ooh, I get the honors. Yeah. So I am Sean. Like he said, I'm a big fan of Bayer Leverkusen, as you can see. That's my favorite team. I love this sport, and like we've said in the past, we're ready to do everything we can to offer good content, unique content, and something that you can't get, maybe on the EPL sites. So we're hoping that we can provide that for you. We think we've done it in places, if you've been listening, and we're gonna keep getting better at it. So. Yeah, that's me, Dave. What about you, man?
Yeah, I'm Dave. Nice to see you all, sort of. I'm the Man United fan, unfortunately, but the Fighting Emeryms are on their way back.
Yes.
And yeah, that's all I really got. Good, Phil.
Fun. I'm Phil. You can see the Real Madrid jersey. We sat in accordance to the placement, so you always know who we support. Grew up in Spain. I've mentioned that before. Love soccer, football, depending where you're watching this from, and Madrid since I could remember. So I'm a biased, fanatic fan, and that'll never end. But it's nice to be here. It's nice to be on video. We appreciate all the interactions we've had so far and look forward to bringing more banter and some FPL news your way.
Yeah, and now that we are on video, if you are watching out there, please, like we've said before, comments, if you want to tell us that we stink at this, go for it. Give us a little bit of feedback, how we can do better, I think. But, yeah, we're looking for feedback. We're trying to get better at this, and, we'll go from there. So,
and the last thing I'll say, right down here and right here, the legend of the Sea.
Wait,
Cristiano Ronaldo.
Who's that?
The legend of the Sea.
Who does he play for?
Al-Nassr, United, Madrid.
Juventus.
Oh, my gosh. Juventus, United, and Al-Nassr. And this was Sporting, not Al-Nassr. Our GOAT, we hate Messi in this group. Well, at least I do.
We respect Messi.
We respect Messi, but we support Ronaldo.
We do.
And, yeah, let's get it going, baby.
Let's get it going. All right. So, I hope... You got to do that every time now?
Yeah.
All right. I hope everyone has had a good international break. I'm hoping that everyone took some time to tweak your teams, figure out what you got to do. I think that's the last international break, right?
Till March.
Yeah.
Till March. For a pretty long time. So, yeah, I hope everyone had some time to figure it out. If you're a listener in America, happy Thanksgiving to you. Thanksgiving is this Thursday, so we will be celebrating here. If you're not American, then happy Thursday to you. And I won't ask how you guys are doing because we just talked about it. But I just say we just get right into it, man. We've been talking. So, Dave, shoot. Get us started. Transfers.
Yeah. So, the ins. Players getting transferred in the most. Top of the list is Cunha. The Cunha train rolls on, baby. Another 2 goals and an assist.
Yeah.
Wish I would have captained him like I thought about doing, but I'm a sissy, so I didn't. But, yeah, not much to explain on that one. I would imagine lots of people moving off of Haaland for him, which is the case. After that, João Pedro's is second. He kind of picked up right where he left off before he left for a while with injury. He's back into the starting 11 right away, goal and an assist. So kind of just like resuming normal business for him from where he was at the start of the season. Then we've got a number of our studs here that are on the list: Saka, Mo Salah, Nico Jackson. If you're riding with these guys, I don't really see any reason to stop doing so. And then Pedro Porro is on the ins as well. He scored again for Spurs, and
what's wrong with that?
That's so reactionary.
who really? I mean, you don't really know
So
which Spurs team you're gonna get on a week-to-week basis.
Yeah,
But,
Madison looked good too.
Yeah, same with him. But Porro he's been one of the more consistent defenders, I feel like, despite Spurs' general inconsistency. But James Madison, 2 goals. Probably reaction to that.
Yeah.
Gabriel's on there. Not much to say about him other than we know about Arsenal's great schedule coming up.
He might have gotten hurt today.
What, in training?
Champions League.
Who, Gabriel?
Yeah.
Well, if he did, I didn't see that. So
Did
he or did he not?
injury below?
It might have just been a classic Arteta
Concert.
move.
It says Arteta reveals Gabriel injury concern as late substitution switch explained. So I don't think it's confirmed. It sounds like he took him out as a precautionary situation. It sounds like he was feeling discomfort, so keep an eye on it. But yeah, it doesn't look like there's anything bad right now, so I'm
Back
sure
to
we'll
you,
find
Papa.
out.
But the outs are kind of where I want to talk more. And the number one most transferred out player is Erling Haaland, which is no shock, but just like
Shambles.
this is less about him, but more just about City. It's like when you thought it couldn't really get any worse.
Oh my goodness. Undressed,
It
just
got
absolutely
worse.
destroyed. No, I think it is about him too, though. I mean, if you watch that game, it's confidence for me. Like, he had, I think, 2 shots that any other year, any other month or 2 months he scores. He had some that he was hitting over the net. Like, he obviously got a crossbar, which stinks.
He did hit the bar at one point. So
I just think confidence, man, he's struggling.
I don't know. My gut tells me he's going to snap out of it at some
Yeah,
point.
you guys keep saying that.
But
He will.
I think it's just a matter of when and not if that happens. But yeah,
Did you guys see what happened today with City?
I didn't get a chance to watch many of the games.
He scored 2. He scored a brace. They're up 3-0 in like the 68th minute, and Feyenoord, I think they played, scored 3 in 14 minutes, and they tied 3-3.
Oh my God.
Get home.
I love that.
That might as well be the 6th
That's
consecutive
amazing.
Their ship is just
Yeah, they're struggling, man. Rodri, give him the Ballon d'Or for next year, too.
Right.
This man is the whole team.
and Pep is a fraud. Anyway, back to you, Dave.
Luis Diaz is next, and this one's pretty easy. I mean, his playing time is just not consistent like it was at the start of the year. If it ever does become consistent, I would think me and several others would be right back in on him. But until that happens, I don't really think you can trust him in lineups. I mean, he's still 22% owned. I've got to imagine that goes down pretty quickly. Raul Jimenez, this one kind of pains me, and I think all of us, because we kind of loved him, but his hot streak appears to be over at the moment. He's cooled off big time, and their schedule, Spurs, Brighton, Liverpool, Arsenal. So I expect his ownership is going to keep going down. Lots of people moving to Cunha or João Pedro, and I think I kind of have to recommend that move as well. Our other favorite of the podcast, Antoine Semenyo, got another yellow card, so he's suspended for the next game, which explains his transfer outs. But in my opinion, if you can stick with him through the suspension, if you have other options to get you through a week, he's got a great schedule. I know they play Spurs in his first game back, but after that, their schedule is pretty nice. So
We'll talk about that because I disagree.
okay, that's fine. You're allowed to have your own opinion.
Absolutely. That's why I'm here.
Sometimes.
Hey, let Dave talk, man.
Okay.
I was just going to say he's still one of my favorite, cheap, middle-of-the-road priced midfielders. But you'll get a different perspective from Sean in a little bit.
A better perspective. Continue.
Well, that's your opinion, man. Danny Welbeck is getting transferred out. That one surprised me a little. 70% of his people getting rid of him are going to João Pedro. And, I can't tell you not to do that because I think João Pedro is great, but I don't think it's a case, and you guys tell me if you think differently, that like João Pedro coming back is just going to ruin his value because number one, like João Pedro played the first 3 games and Welbeck scored in 2 of the first 3 games.
Yeah.
Like they started together this game. I don't see any reason why they would go away from that. So yeah, like if you want to move from Welbeck to João Pedro, like I'm not going to tell you not to do that, but I would say just don't panic if you have Danny Welbeck. If I had him, which I don't, but if I did, I think I would probably stick with him because I think João Pedro is only going to help him and that attack in general, which I will get to in a little bit. But well, let's not keep the people waiting, Sean. You have some Semenyo opinions, so why don't you start our roundtable and
I can do
tell
that.
me why I'm wrong.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So let me just clear the air. First of all, I do agree. That was
I agree to disagree.
I do agree that
Classic.
classic. I do agree that Antoine Semenyo is still a good player, right? I think there's no, alarm going off right now that you have to go get rid of him. I think he still has value. Like you said, he's 5.7 million. That's a good price for a midfielder. The schedule is okay. I think going forward, they get Wolves away, Tottenham home. I don't know what Tottenham is. Like 2 weeks ago, I would have said, oh, that's probably a good game. Watching last game, I don't know. Then they get Ipswich away, West Ham home, United away, and Crystal Palace home. That's a pretty good schedule. So, there is value there. Now, over his last 12 game weeks, he's just been up and down, man. It's one of those things where he had such high expectations, and you keep every week like, this is the week. And then, start of the season, a couple good weeks, then he drops off. Then week 6, he has 7 points against Southampton. He really should have some points. And then he drops off for 4 weeks, gets 10, and now he's had 2 points and 1 point, right? He's not getting the value that you want from him. And there are other cheap options out there, right? You got Smith Rowe, McNeil, Iwobi. All those guys also have cheap price tags, and they're putting up as many, if not more, points than him. One of the big concerns I have is look at his XFPL. It's 68.26. He has 47 points.
Mm-hmm.
He's not producing the way that he should be. And like I said, I'm personally tired of waiting on him. So I wanted to look at just a quick deep dive. So he leads all midfielders in FPL with 53 shots, right?
Yeah.
The only person he's behind in all of FPL is Haaland, who has 63 shots, right? And he has 13 more than Salah. Now, when you break it down, if you look at Haaland, he has 63 shots, 34 of those are on target, 12 of those are goals. So 53% of the time, his shots are hitting the target. 35% of the time, he's getting a goal on them. Salah, 40 shots, 25 on target, 10 goals. So 62.5% of the time, his shots are hitting the target. 40% of the time, he's scoring a goal. I mean, that's pretty insane, to be honest, from Salah, just as a side note.
Our Egyptian king.
But then Semenyo, 53 shots. He has 12 on target and 4 goals.
That's a bad percentage.
That's gripping and ripping, baby.
He's hitting the target. He's hitting the target 22% of the time. That's terrible. And the annoying part is he's scoring a goal on his shots on target 33% of the time. That's really good.
Just put it on target in.
That's my point. I'm just at a point where he has all the potential in the world, but we've seen 12 games of him have 53 shots and 12 on target. Like, is it a situation, Dave, like you said, hold on to him, the value's there? When? Like, what's going to change that he's going to hit the target?
I mean, yeah, I can't answer that, but I guess it's just a matter of your philosophy on how you want to play the game. You've played other fantasy sports with me, and I always kind of lean towards the data-driven approach, so I like to see his expected numbers because they're among the best in the league at all positions. Yeah. And so he's got 38 shots from inside the box. That's right there with Mo Salah.
Yeah, but the problem is none of them are from inside the box.
I'm aware of that. I'm saying if he keeps getting shots in the box, eventually he's going to have to hit the net.
You say that.
And so I'm gonna counter you a little bit on this one too. Is I actually like him better than literally all those guys that you said, like the Fulham guys. They have a questionable schedule coming up. Spurs, Brighton, Liverpool, Arsenal, Chelsea's in there. Same with Dwight McNeil because I have him. His
Same.
schedule gets rough in a couple games. So that's what I was saying. If you can stick with him through the suspension and maybe you don't even use him in the Spurs game. But I like him because for guys at that price, I feel like his expected numbers are just so good that I'm comfortable with it. But like you said, if you aren't cool with like 1 or 2 points and then, spike like a 10 or something, I get if you want to jump off of him.
That's what I'm saying.
I'm not, but
It's not an
I
alarm.
see your opinion.
It's not an alarm. You're allowed to hold on to him. I'm just tired of waiting, and the fact that he is such a cheap price gives you the freedom to say, listen, he's suspended. Transfer him out 2 weeks, 3 weeks. Maybe he finally starts hitting the target a little bit. Not hard to go pick him back up. He doesn't cost very much. So that's why for me right now, he's a down. And some of that was part of that suspension. He's not even playing next week. So that's where I'm at with it. I just wanted to give anyone who's out there, why in the world is Semenyo not getting any points? Well, he's just not hitting the target. But maybe that changes. That's where I'm at with Semenyo. I think he's still a great player, but I'm tired of waiting and seeing. So
Still early on in the season.
12 weeks, that's a decent amount of the season.
Yeah, this will be what?
About a third of the way.
It's pretty.
That maths.
That's pretty far.
Good math, Phil.
That maths.
All right, but who wants to take it next? Which one of you two wants it?
Let me do it.
Go for it.
Because I'm going to bring up someone we also were high on and have been high on, and that is Bryan Mbuemo, or Mbuemo. We can never agree on this one. And he is such an odd guy right now. And I've started watching more and more EPL games. It's like the eye test versus the stat test. So just watching Brentford lately, and I'm really thinking the last 3-4 games, probably 3 games, he just doesn't feel like he's in any danger area at all. He's way out wide. He's almost coming back to defend a lot, which obviously a coach would love, but that doesn't translate to FPL. And then he's never near the box. He's not in the box. It feels like unless they get a PK, he's not going to get a goal. So just looking at the last 3 games, I'm pretty sure he has 0.07 expected goals and 0.16 expected assists, only 1 bonus point, only 1 shot, and I think goes inside the box and 0 big chances created. So that's over 3 games. But it's weird because he's like I think the 4th or 5th highest FPL.
Yeah, highest projected too. He's like 4th amongst midfielders.
It's such a weird one where it's hard to say move away from him because again he's on set pieces, so it really just takes a PK for him to get a return for you. And if you captain him, obviously I don't know who would captain him right now. And he's been so great. But just looking at the last 3 games, something seems off with him. And, the eye test watching him play seems to match the stats we're seeing behind him. So I don't know. I wouldn't say necessarily move away from him, especially having Leicester coming up. They don't have a terrible schedule. But after the next games, I'm personally going to think about moving away from Mbuemo. And, you can get someone like Bowen or Fernandes even. Or you can move from Mbuemo to Semenyo, and that opens up funds to maybe pick up a different forward if you want to upgrade to a Jackson or even a Saka-san, someone like that. I think there are some cheaper options out there that are going to produce equally. They don't have to overproduce Mbuemo either. As long as they produce the same as Mbuemo, you're saving cash to put to a different position. So personally, I am going to think about moving away from him in the next 2 weeks, and it's just a guy to keep an eye out for because he's not probably worth his price tag right now.
Yeah.
I think it's that Wisa effect.
Might be. One of you said this on one of the recent episodes, but he has 8 goals on 3.61 expected goals.
Yeah.
And only 6 big chances. And so, just in general, he was overperforming. And I know one of you two said this, that
I think Sean did.
Eventually,
He's got to come back down there.
Yeah, eventually he's not going to
Numbers are
score on
numbers.
every other shot he takes.
Yeah, numbers are numbers.
But this might be a dumb question. Does a PK count towards expected goals?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can do expected goals total and expected goals without PKs. Yeah.
Gotcha.
That 361 is just his total. So yeah, he has 8 goals on 12 shots on target.
Yeah, he's kind of like Evan Nelson for Bournemouth, where he's 4
Same
goals
concept.
on 5 shots. It's it's not sustainable, and we're seeing that with Mbuemo now. I think, was there a price reduction for him? after this week?
I don't know, but his price has gone up so fast over like the month.
I think it might have dropped.
He actually, I looked at I saw his price, and he's actually.
You can check.
When we were talking about him weeks ago, he was one of those like Semenyo types. Like, hey, get this cheap guy. He's killing it. He's kind of on the expensive side at this point.
He's approaching a drop. He's 73% of the way towards a drop.
Gotcha.
So
what's his cost right now?
7.9.
Yeah, 7.9. I mean, that's not over the top expensive, but 7.9's semi pricey for Semenyo's. And what did we just say? Semenyo's in the fives, I think.
5.7.
5.7. Yeah. So
the last thing I'll say about Mbuemo too is come game week 18, I think they have Arsenal, City, Liverpool, and Spurs in a 6-week stretch.
Easy schedule.
And that sounds freaking miserable. So
I don't know what you're talking about. That's easy for Brentford.
Definitely, if he keeps up this pace of not performing, I would definitely game week 18 send him packing.
You know what probably happened? They stopped scoring in the first
was
30
literally
seconds.
just going to say that.
When they don't score in the first 30 seconds of every game, Mbuemo struggles.
They're a first 90-second team.
Yeah.
Right?
I get that.
No, I pretty much agree with everything you said, Phil.
Yes!
I'm like Sean.
I agree with it.
For you guys out there, some knowledge. All right, Dave.
You are smoking us, so
yeah, we'll get to that.
Maybe we should.
I have a little celebration going.
I can't.
Okay.
I can't. I can't hype you up too much, but I'll. So I want to talk about the Fighting Ruben Amorim's are now in effect. So I have to talk about a United guy, but so if you watch that United game, they clearly need to learn how to play 3-4-3. It's going to take some time. But we knew and we kind of saw at Sporting like he is willing to play just pure wingers at wing back as part of his system, and he did that because he played Amad Diallo at right wing back, and he had both Diallo and we talked about Mazraoui on the last episode about how he's a perfect fit in that system. So of course he starts him as one of the 3 center backs. But yeah, I wanted to talk about Diallo. If you watched that United game, I think he was probably the best player on the field for United. Like, I think that formation will naturally get him into a lot of like advantageous situations for him. Like, he can get to the edge of the box and cut in with a lot of space. And that was like one of the few ways United created offense in that game. So, like, if you look at a lot of his numbers, like his expected numbers are not going to be there just because he hasn't been a starter the whole season. He's been in and out of the lineup. But I would pay attention to what Amorim does going forward, because if he keeps playing there every game, then he's definitely somebody that I would look at on for my team. I think he makes like the perfect 5th midfielder on your team because he's only 4.9 million and like nobody owns him. I think he's like 3% owned. I know United has had some people out like Luke Shaw had played a little bit in their last game. Lenny Yoros coming back, Martinez. They started Johnny Evans at center back, so like that can't continue. So definitely pay attention to what United does because I don't know if that's going to be like a permanent thing with him starting there. But if you see a couple games in a row where he's starting at wingback, then like I said, I would definitely consider him. Like, I think he's like the perfect 5th midfielder on your team. He's super cheap. I mentioned the Fulham guys earlier because their 3 like kind of cheaper midfielders have been good options. Their schedule gets really tough. I'm thinking about moving off Dwight McNeil, and maybe I'll move to Diallo and put my money where my mouth is. But his schedule's pretty rough after their next couple of games. So just monitor what Amorim does and consider Amad if he keeps starting at wingback.
I want to applaud you for that because I couldn't agree more. So I'm agreeing with myself too then. Applauding myself, but
oh, you guys are so humble. It's unbelievable.
He is quite literally the perfect 5th midfielder that you can have on rotation too. Like, obviously Man United has some tough matchups coming up, so maybe you don't play him there. But if he becomes that solid piece for United back there, you know he's going to get forward in that 4.9 that just opens the door to pick up other.
He's lightly owned, so if you're like me and need to catch some people,
spot on.
Something to keep in mind.
Spot on.
Love that, Dave.
That's a tough act to follow for you, Sean. Good luck, brother.
Thanks, man. Okay.
Especially after you spewed all that Semenyo slander.
Listen.
Is today pick on Sean Day?
Listen, that's fine.
I
got 3rd. Why are you picking on me?
3rd?
You did get 3rd
in the week
this past week. So that's why you're getting picked on. You got 3rd.
All right, fair enough.
I've been getting picked on for 3 months.
I guess that's fair. I can't argue with that. I guess if I dish it out, I got to take it.
Yeah.
All right, so I'm going with a guy that Phil actually mentioned a couple minutes ago, Jarrod Bowen.
Ooh.
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah, we're on the same page.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's kind of been
I like
going
it,
under the
man.
radar. What he's doing is not groundbreaking by any means, but the reason I bring him up is because I've already mentioned Semenyo, you mentioned Mbuemo. Midfielders are weak right now. There's not a lot of top tier, like even the top guys. Look at Palmer, right? His last 3 games, I have the numbers here.
2,
What
2,
is
3.
he? 2, 2, 3, and then he had a 10 before that. Before that, he had a 2,
Yeah,
right?
2.
So a guy like Palmer, who we consider a top tier guy, not performing. Like I said, Mbuemo no longer really performing. There's not a lot of value out there right now for these midfielders. So Jarrod Bowen's kind of he's doing a decent job. He had 7 points in this last game week. He had 7 points in game week 9. So he's doing okay. He's projected 24.3 over the next 6 game weeks. That lands him right next to Odegaard. Odegaard's 8.2 million. And it lands him right over Mitoma, who I also kind of like, but Mitoma's 6.4 million. He's 11th. Yeah. He's 11th for all mids right now in terms of projected points. So he's 7th amongst mids in overall points, 57, which I didn't know. I was perusing the midfielders because I was making some changes, and he's up there, man. He's doing things quietly. Like, he's not getting talked about at all.
It's been a slow burn.
Yeah, that's what you could say. He's right in front of Smith Rowe, right behind Diaz, who we just talked about. Diaz, another one that he's ahead of him, but do you really want to put Diaz in your lineup right now? No, neither do I. I mean, Son's coming back, but do we trust him just yet? I don't know, right? So he's there. I mean, he seems like he's got a lot of potential, a lot of value for you if you're looking for I won't call him cheap, but I won't call him expensive, right? He's right in that Mbuemo range, which I would say we consider, mid-tier range in terms of price. So I think he's a strong option right now if you need someone to replace an Mbuemo and a Semenyo. It kind of fits in exactly what we said, because I actually I went and replaced Semenyo and Mbuemo. So yeah, this is a guy that you can go look at. Like I said, nothing groundbreaking, but midfielders aren't groundbreaking right now unless your name is Salah. So for him, I'm up on him right now. I think he's a good pickup if you're looking to replace some of the guys that are struggling.
That's a fun one.
Yeah, I mean, I guess if you're going away from Mbuemo,
yeah, I mean, let's be honest.
is that the right
wasn't
price for that?
Yeah, that's not I didn't just make a groundbreaking prediction. That wasn't that fun. I mean, but at this point, like, as I look at midfielders, it's not a fun scene, You gotta find guys that are kind of boring, because the ones that were fun are struggling, like the Mbuemos, like the Semenyos, like the Cole Palmers. So I like him.
Okay.
That's where I'm at with it. I don't know if you guys have any thoughts on him, but that's where I'm at with it.
I like him. West Ham has to get better at some point. And, well, they just beat Newcastle, so
Yeah,
maybe they're turning the corner as a team.
they're very up and down right
Is
now.
that back-to-back?
Yeah, what the heck is that about?
Fabianski?
Is it?
I'm pretty sure.
I think they tied 0-0, but I don't think it was an EPL game. I think they played can you look that up, Dave? Are you looking that up?
It was the Monday game.
It is back-to-back clean sheets.
Yeah.
They had a
Were they both EPL?
scoreless draw against
Were they both
Everton.
EPL games?
Yeah.
Everton
Okay.
and Newcastle, yeah.
Yeah, my bad.
No, you're good. We forgive you.
No, I couldn't
Thanks.
remember.
And I'd also mentioned, at this point in the season, I'm starting to notice a lot of guys are coming back down to the mean of their ex-FPLs. Some of them are falling behind them. As you get further in the season, right, you tend to fall behind. But he is still ahead of it by 4 points. So I think it's another thing to think about. The further you get into the season, the harder it is to keep up with that expected points total. So that's all I got in him, though. So, Phil, do you want to give us your second guy?
Yeah, this guy, and I'm going Liam Delap. Or Delap. I really don't know what the right one is.
I mean,
We'll accept both.
We're American.
Okay.
We mess things up all the time. It is what it is.
It is. We're dumb.
I don't know about all that.
But this guy, when we were at your house, Dave, I don't know if you remember us talking about him. We're like watching him play. It just feels like he gets it, and he's always in the right position, and he just feels stronger and more powerful than anyone he goes up against. Obviously, he plays for Ipswich, so that's a bit of downer because Ipswich is not a great team.
Not great.
But he's their bright star. He's 5.6 million, 6 goals and 1 assist. 15 shots in the box, 9 big chances created. He has higher expected goals than someone like Mbuemo, who we just talked about. So he gets the opportunities. You can just feel it whenever he gets the ball that he's going to make something happen. He has good fixtures coming up. I think Bournemouth at home is in the mix there, but it's Forest, Palace, Wolves, and then Bournemouth. Then they play Arsenal, but the next 4 matchups I think are really solid for them. So at 5.6 million up top, obviously he's not a midfielder, but up top he's a really good option. Would you pick João Pedro over him, or him over João Pedro? Probably not. But do you combine him, Pedro, and get someone like Jackson, and then you can just buff up your midfield?
Ball out on midfielders?
Yeah, with your 4 studs, the Palmer, Saka, Salah, and who am I forgetting?
Who would ever do something like that?
Palmer, Saka,
Son.
And Son, yeah.
I would never do such a thing.
Yeah, we'll get to that, Sean. Don't worry.
You doing it right now?
Don't worry about
With
it.
all your free transfers.
Don't worry about it.
Definitely have.
So,
Don't worry about it.
I just think he's a fun option right now. I might actually do it, but
Do it.
I mean, he should have scored against United too.
Yeah.
Onana absolutely robbed him from like 6 yards away.
as much as people made fun of Onana, he's actually been incredible this
one
He
season.
had a whale of a save in that game.
He had a couple, but
That one to the right, he dove right. That was a whale of a save.
So, Liam Delap, interesting, fun option. I've already seen some transfers in for him. Obviously, I don't think he made the list, but
I don't
just
think
catching
so.
people's
But
eyes. So yeah, that's my boy.
yeah, I like that one. But my last guy is who Sean mentioned a couple minutes ago, and if you've listened to us or seen any of our social media posts, we've been recommending a lot of Brighton guys. And so I'm going to do that again and recommend Kaoru Mitoma. Like I said, we talked about him a couple times. Have we mentioned Brighton's excellent schedule? I don't think we've mentioned that. They have a great schedule coming up.
Ain't bad.
And so, like I mentioned his expected numbers in the past. He has 3.87 expected goals, and he's only got 1 goal on 7 big chances and 20 shots inside the box. Or now 2 goals, because he scored this past game. But at some point, like, he's a quality player. We saw how good he was for them last year. And at some point, I feel like kind of the opposite of Mbuemo. Those, the actual numbers have to catch up to the expected numbers at some point. And so I really like his price, 6.4 million. He's fairly low owned. He's only, I think, 5.8%?
5.8%, yeah.
So, yeah, just another João Pedro's coming back. Like I said, I think that's going to help Brighton's attack even more as a whole. And yeah, I just like him to start performing better, along with Brighton's kind of uptick in form as a team. So he's another one of my themes of like proven quality Premier League players on a good attacking team with a good schedule. And so I actually did transfer him in before these last week games, and I'm glad I did because he scored, and I need points because I'm losing to both of these guys.
Actually, one quick shout out for him.
Yeah.
Follow us on Fireside FPL Twitter. He threw out a thread with some
Yeah.
differential picks.
Yeah, you did.
Guess who he called out?
Matoma?
Matoma. Guess what Matoma did?
He scored a goal.
Scored a goal.
Follow us
Yeah,
on
man.
Twitter.
I like Mitoma.
Liam Delap was in that list too.
Yes, sir.
What's the Twitter handle?
Fireside FPL
There you go.
on Twitter or X.
Or X. Yeah, it's X. Listen, man, Elon didn't buy that company for you to call it Twitter.
Stop
Oh, man.
politicizing our show, man.
X is not the preferred
Elon,
nomenclature.
I'm not politicizing. I'm just saying Elon bought it.
Sean's just struggling today, man.
Man, I'm just trying to have a good time with my friends.
We love you.
But yeah, do we want to do a quick summary of our dudes that we just recommended?
Sure thing, Dave. I'd love to do that, man.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I'll go first. I
Okay.
think Diallo is a good cheap pickup. Just monitor to make sure he keeps starting at right wing back. If he does, I like him as a good 5th midfield option. And Mitoma, who I just mentioned, quality player on a good attacking team with a great schedule. Don't overcomplicate it.
Kiss. Keep it simple, stupid.
Keep it simple, stupid. Phil's catchphrase.
Mike, you can go.
No.
No. You came in last in the week, so you come in second.
I really like throwing it at me. Yeah, I went with Antoine Semenyo, who again, no need to get rid of him. If you want to hold on to him through the suspension, they have a decent schedule coming up. I'm down on him because I'm tired of watching him get 10 shots a game and not getting any on net. That may be a personal vendetta for me, but for real, he's not producing the way that he should be, and 12 weeks in, is it going to happen? So I'm moving off him personally. And then I went with Jarrod Bowen, who I think at the moment midfielders are not producing, Mbuemo, Semenyo. So Jarrod Bowen, he's at a mid-tier price. I think he's silently doing pretty well, 57 points. So that's a guy you can look at to go get if you are moving off a Semenyo or a Bowen, or a Semenyo or an Mbuemo.
Nice,
Yep.
Sean.
Thanks, man.
My two guys, Mbuemo, just terrible form right now. Still a pretty high price tag. So after this easy run of fixtures, they hit it really complicated after game week 18. So probably worth dropping, at least when it comes to game week 18. Just not doing much right now. And then my other guy, Liam Delap, 5.6 million, really just a fun differential kind of pick, but same price tag as someone like João Pedro. So not sure if you would pick him over João, but he's the it guy for Ipswich. Just feel like he's going to get something done. So he's a fun one to keep an eye out for.
All right.
It's my favorite time, baby.
We have to.
Week after week, let me put on the little sombrerito.
I think we agreed we were going to skip this section this time.
Yeah, no, maybe we just skip it forever. Maybe we just stop. Is that your hat that you put on when you win?
This is the winner's hat.
Might as well leave it on every week then, because my goodness.
Yeah, well,
All right,
You want to go first or you want to go last,
Let's
Phil?
at least quantify
I'll
this.
go last, so
All right, let me go.
people are left with a good
It
taste.
was. Let me just say, it was a
Yeah.
narrow victory. 57 for you, 54 for me, 45 for Sean. So tell us about your week, which is really just one person.
Yeah, I struggled this week. So my defense combined for 1 point. Digne, Robinson, Lewis.
That's good.
My midfield combined for 6 points outside of Salah, Mbuemo, Semenyo, and Palmer. And my strikers combined for 5 points. Welbeck, Wood, and Isak. Basically, my entire week was on Mohamed Salah because I captained him. So got 26 from him, and Keller, who got 7 because he saved a PK. I talked about him a few weeks ago. I said he's going to be a great gap goalie on that team, and he got 7, which was huge for me in a bad week. But I struggled mightily. My bench didn't do much. Wasn't a good week. So
That'll happen.
Yeah.
But
Chin up, Buttercup.
I will. Yeah, I'll be good. I'm still beating Dave, so it's no big deal. But I did make a lot of moves. I've decided, and I decided this a while ago, but I'm trying to experiment. This is our first season doing this, so I'm sure. No, I'm still trying to win. Obviously, I'm obviously trying to win, of course, but I'm just doing it in a way that I want to test if this is going to work. So I'm still ahead of him. I'm not worried about it.
Kidding.
Temporarily.
So what did I do? I dropped Mbuemo. I dropped Semenyo. And I dropped Isak.
Nice.
And I went and I got Saka. And I got Son. And I got Pedro. And, I pretty much changed up my whole team. So my current roster, let me just...
Wait, had you not used the wild? Did you take hits?
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
Yeah, I took 12 points in hits.
okay.
Yeah.
I mean, might pay off if they pop off. So
That's what I'm saying, man. You never know. You never know.
every
Simultaneously.
single one. Hey, you never
All
know.
right. I mean,
Hey, we respect
you got to
that.
do you.
So now my current midfield is Salah, Son, Saka, and Palmer. All right, let's see, FPL. You want to make these guys the most expensive? Show me. Show me that they can do something. And up front, I got Pedro, Strand Larson, and Wood. Oh, very reactionary, absolutely.
Strand Larson.
Strand Larson, João Pedro, and Wood. Their schedule, Wolves' schedule is great. So, hey, say what you want now,
more.
guys. That's my team going into the week. So, Dave.
All right, that was a fiasco.
You ever seen that? You ever seen that meme of SpongeBob where he's in his own brain and it's like on fire and they're all running around with
they
papers?
can't figure out his name.
That's literally
He only knows
my brain right now.
fine dining and breathing.
I'm just everything's just sprinting around. Get this guy. Get that guy.
Sean only knows
Shambles.
fine dining and transfers. That's it.
Fine dining and transfers.
But yeah, I had 54 points, so it's a solid week.
Oh yeah.
Notables: Gabriel with 6, Mitoma 9. My front line was solid. Ollie Watkins 7, Isak 4, who I captained, and I had Cunha with 16. And I debated captaining Isak or Cunha because they both had good matchups, and I was like, Isak's in great. Well, I mean, they're both in great form, but I went with Isak, and I shouldn't have. I should have went with Cunha, but anyway. Yeah, my bench. I also transferred in Pedro Neto this past week.
Oh,
Interesting.
He was another one of my recommendations in our nice long Twitter thread. And of course, the day after we post the Twitter thread, he apparently scored in the midweek for Portugal, and then they sent him home because Portugal's last group game in the Nations League didn't matter.
Yeah.
And it turns out he was hurt, but Chelsea didn't say anything until they announced the lineup.
I hate that.
I didn't play him, but it's like, of course, I recommend him, and then
Those
he
clubs
ends up.
need to be more respectful.
Yeah,
ends up
they should
being
have
hurt.
to
Yeah.
do it for us.
Yeah.
Let us know what's happening. This is important.
Can we get like an NFL injury report? I need
Yeah,
every day.
something.
This is basically the NHL. Oh, he broke his leg, upper body injury. You'll figure it out in 6 months.
But yeah, as an aside, he was starting a lot for Chelsea, and he is one of my differential picks because he's like 1% owned, and he was playing really well for them. So anyway, done with that. But solid week for me. I just want one of my captain's picks to actually score more than like 2 points one of these times.
Get
Yeah.
Salah.
You deserve it.
Although he plays City this week, so.
I'll vent my bitterness after Phil goes.
Yeah, little round of applause for the number one again.
Tip the hat.
Yeah.
You got to wear that. Anyone who wins a week, you got to wear that hat now.
During
That's the rules.
During this section.
section.
And then I'll kiss Ronaldo every day.
Okay, well,
Um,
that's a you thing.
So, kind of a weird week. I'm that idiot. I refuse to get rid of Haaland because the moment I do, I know he's just going to start scoring again. So at this point, unless he gets shot in the leg, I obviously don't want him to get seriously injured. I am not moving away from him. But Nicky J, obviously he's been a stud all season. I have Raul too, got rid of him. We've talked about that before. He's been terrible. And then Captain Salah again, so massive. The rest of my midfielders didn't do much. Fernandez, Semenyo, and Mbuemo, I think, combined for like 4 points. And then my back line was pretty atrocious, too, with Konate getting a yellow card and Southampton scoring 2 against Liverpool. Mazraoui just getting 2 points, and Digne, who actually didn't start because
I'm aware.
of the international break. And I was so big on him. I was tweeting about it for 2 weeks, and all of a sudden he didn't start. So,
Yeah, that was tough.
but then I had Raya, who got a clean sheet for Arsenal. So kind of happy to see Arsenal finally get one. I saw a lot of people double up on Saliba and Gabriel. So those people were probably happy. But
Yeah.
all around, just an average week. Happy to beat the, I think, what was the average this week?
49
49. So
I didn't
it's
beat
another
it.
green arrow.
for us.
For
Yeah,
you too.
a lot of green arrows.
For you too. This is my second week now in
I
12
just-
weeks where I've been below.
I just have to say, you guys and like everybody and their mother captained Salah this week.
Got
It was
to.
like 70-something% of the people
Yeah.
in the top million captained him. And if you
Gotta.
watch the Southampton game, like he was doing nothing against Southampton, so I was like, this is great. This is my week to catch them. I was still hopeful because Isak hadn't played yet. And then the first goal he scored, which is definitely not like a great finish. It was just like he messed up a touch. And
I thought it was a
happened to go
nice
in the net.
That was a nice goal.
What is that old man playing goal for Southampton doing?
Not
What?
bad.
Why? I don't understand where he was going. And then, what's his name? Sugawara comes on the field for Southampton and is on the field for 2 minutes and then decides to knee the ball into his own hand when it's going out of bounds for no reason. And that's how they got the
Yeah.
penalty and he scored.
That's.
And then you guys get to
Get 26
be all
points.
smart and get 26 points.
Imagine if he hadn't taken his shirt off. He wouldn't have dropped off the top BPS
Wait, he get a yellow card for that?
for taking his shirt
Yeah.
off.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Tell him that. You didn't know that?
No, I
No,
I was watching the game and I
So
didn't
apparently
see it.
he was in first by a mile for the bonus points for the game, but taking his shirt off and then missing a chance at the end dropped him like 8 points. So,
Damn.
who was the guy? I'm going to butcher his name. Zubalai
Yeah, I know who you mean. Yeah.
I think he ended up with the 3 bonus points. So
Sabasile.
Yeah.
But anyway, Vento.
Anyway, yeah. So that was my team, and I moved off from Raul to João Pedro. So I'm adding some more firepower into that front line.
Southampton's goalie is 34 years old.
He has more gray hair than me. He's old.
I think you're older than him, no?
I'm 34 as well.
Nice.
There you go.
Hey.
All right,
Happy
let's hit it.
birthday.
Let's hit it with
captain.
those captains, vice captains. I am going to captain.
Oh, no. Let's show the table first.
No.
Let's show the table first of who's in first. Reminder every week. PSA.
Luis, our editor, get that table in there. Get that table in there. Come on.
Show
What
El Matador first.
do we pay you for?
But remember that when you see the total points, we missed 3 game weeks. Don't think that we stink.
We did. We came up with this idea 3 game weeks
have to
into
go.
the EPL season. I just let them know that.
It took us a while to get our crap together. If you
So-
saw how long it took us to set up a tripod, you'd
Yeah,
understand.
you'd
Oof.
understand.
Oof.
But who are you guys captaining this week? Since you're clearly better at that part of the game than me.
I am captaining Palmer this week against Aston Villa. I believe that he is finally going to pop off. And then I'm going to vice captain Salah because, well, he's Salah. So I'm just going to do it.
I transferred out Phil Foden for Saka already this week because I was pretty sure Foden's price is going down and Saka's might go up. So I'm going to captain Saka and vice captain Cunha.
And I'm just going to do the same thing as every week. My Egyptian king, I bow to you. Salah, my captain, and Haaland, my vice captain, because I refuse to believe that Haaland won't come back. So it's probably going to be the death of me, or the whatever that saying is. But
Love it. All right. I think that's pretty much it. So we'll be back here next week, same time, same place.
same room.
Same room, the new room. Looking back at game week 13, looking forward to game week 14. And if you're out there listening, you can listen to us anywhere you find your podcasts. And if you're watching us on YouTube at Fireside FPL, leave a comment, like the video, subscribe. It's free, and we'd really appreciate it. It'll really help us out. Anything from you two before we go?
No, Papa.
No?
Nothing from me. I've complained enough.
All right.
I've celebrated enough.
Okay. And with that, see ya.
See you.
Bye.